Who are you? Are you your body? Or are you your mind? Or are you something higher? Do you know who you are? Or do you merely think you know who you are? And these questions we are asking ourselves, do they even really matter? Our position as human beings is that we are always rendering service to someone, e.g., family, country, or even your own self. Take for example, if you are rendering service to a tree, you have to pour water to a tree from the top, like going down to the roots. You cannot just pour a sprinkle of water on the leaves and then you assume the roots. So however much the service you do to another person and you're not doing it to you don't know whatever you're doing. You have to water yourself first, and then it trickles back to other people. So constitutionally, we are meant to render service to. Yet, in spite of serving to the best of our ability, we are not satisfied, or neither the person we are rendering service to. Okay, there is a verse here that I would like us to actually look into for us to see how the Bible is just guiding us on these things, on how to identify our spirituality. 1 Corinthians, I'm reading 2:10 to 16, and it says, "But God has revealed them to us through His Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. For what man knows the things of a man except the spirit of the man, which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God. Now, we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might know the things that have been freely given to us by God. These things we also speak, not in words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, nor can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. But he who is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is rightly judged by no one. For who has known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ." That is why I said whenever tukiingia huku ndani, when we were getting inside the library, I said, let's take analogy of what's a library, and then let's take the analogy of Christ dying and him being actually put in a tomb. You see, Christ himself is knowledge, just as Christ, the Christ of knowledge. And then if he dies and then he's put in a tomb. You get what I mean? That means there is a correlation of a social symbolism of a tomb and whatever is in the social, that we can find information inside, and it's very quiet and then enclosed. You see, that's a library, and that's my next stage that I am in right now, because I have come to do some research. Okay, so after reading the Corinthians, the soul, I would like to say that civilization is static unless there is spiritual movement. Let me show you. I will read another verse here. Okay, I'm going to read 1 Corinthians 3:16 to 17, and it says, "Do you not know that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? If anyone defiles the temple of God, God will destroy him, for the temple of God is holy, which temple you are." So in the soul moves the body, and the living body moves the world. We are concerned about the body, but we have no knowledge of the Spirit that is moving that body. Without the Spirit, the body is motionless, or said to be dead completely, because there is no life that is living in there. So there is no ultimate benefit in making our body comfortable at the expense of forgetting the prime necessity of life, which is to regain our lost spirituality identity. And if we learn about our spirituality, then it means that we can see, if I am saying that civilization is static unless it is in a spiritual movement, a direction that is so spiritual, is that we are able to identify the aspects of the spiritual nature in our social and be able to match them with our day-to-day life in order to do what? In order to try and find out some solutions to problems that we face in each and every day. Okay? So there's another verse that I would like us to read here. That is 1 Corinthians 2:14 to 16. Does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, nor can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. For who has known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. We have the mind of Christ. All of us in us, we have the mind of Christ. But then we only need to do what? To awaken ourselves in one way or the other. We need to remind ourselves every day. But then, just the way the Bible is saying, we assume because we think they are not of matter to us. But then, listen, the boat of human life is constructed in such a way that it must move towards a spiritual destination. Unfortunately, this body is anchored towards worldly or mundane consciousness by 5 strong chains. The boat of human life is constructed in such a way that it must move towards a spiritual destination. Unfortunately, this body is anchored to worldly or mundane consciousness by 5 strong chains. Number 1, attachment to